This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the San Diego Padres. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, San Diego? What is up, Friar Faithful? What is up, Padre Nation? My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, and this is your Padres POSTCAST and Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And what a day it is. All those newcomers. You've been watching hobby shows on Locked On Padres Podcast. You've been following the news. You've been seeing the moves that A.J. Preller made. And then tonight, they rolled him out on the field at Petco. The opener of 3 against the Cardinals from St. Louis. You can find me in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those St. Louis Cardinals. The same ones that you backdoor split with last weekend going into, right? You know what I'm talking about? Right into the series before the deadline where you came back and you swept the Mets, who had won 7 in a row. You started that win streak with a backdoor split, winning the final 2 games against the Cardinals in St. Louis. And you kept it going tonight with a 4-1 win, a 4-run 5th inning right after Nick Pivetta had given up the only hit of the night, a solo homer to Wilson Contreras to lead off the 5th. Other than that, Pivetta retires the first 12 hitters he faces. Pivetta wins a career-high 11th game, and Pivetta was outstanding. His best start of the season tonight against the Cardinals, who were still there in the race, but threw in the towel. A bunch of sissies in St. Louis. I kid. They're great baseball fans. But, hey, how do you give up on that team? That's a shame when you have fans like that and you make the money they make. Pathetic, pathetic. Cardinals management ownership to give up on this team. But hey, one team's loss is another team's gain, and the Padres come out with the 4-1 win tonight. Jackson Merrill, a 2-run single. Yeah, baby. And that is how it went down tonight. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Thank you for making us your first watch or listen every day right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We're live right after the games on YouTube. Then we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and of course, you're down with OPP. Hell no, I'm 53. I'm down with OTT. That's right, over-the-top television. You should be too at Roku. Besides, OPP's exhausting, man. That's so 1991. Anyway, isn't it? Naughty 3. Yeah, it was Naughty 1, but Naughty 3 was, Tretch was the man back in the day. Anyway, what a win for the Pods tonight. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. We got your turning point. We got your star of the game. We got all kinds of things. We got mayhem. Mason Miller. Oh, did he look good tonight? Gave up a couple hits, but looked really good for the Pods. And Senor Suarez came in and closed it down. It's your Padres POSTCAST. I'm Grease. All the new guys are here. The fans are alive. The Padres' odds to win the World Series went up higher, and we are ready to rock. Padres POSTCAST, Locked On Podcast Network, your pods every day.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Yeah, baby. 4-1 the final at Petco, and again, a sellout crowd. What an unbelievable venue. What an unbelievable place for baseball. I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I love baseball stadiums, and Petco is very close to the top of my list. It's close because, you got Wrigley, you got Fenway, you got Yankee, you got all the history in all those places and things like that, but St. Louis is awesome. There's so many great stadiums, but none of them, and I mean none of them, are better than Petco. Petco's got the best city to be in, number one. They're right there downtown, right there by the water, all the food, all the drinks. You know what I'm saying? Petco is the spot, and it was rocking today. Why? Nick Pivetta, 1 run on 1 hit. In 7 innings, Jackson Merrill drives in 2 runs, and the San Diego Padres win their 6th game in a row, 4-1 over the St. Louis Cardinals. On Friday night at Petco, Pivetta's 11-3, struck out 5, didn't give up a walk. Solo homer from Wilson Contreras in the 5th that gave the Cardinals a 1-0 lead, but he would give it back and then some in the bottom of the 5th when the Padres came back and scored 4 runs, 2 errors to 3 unearned runs, and both errors were on Wilson Contreras. More on that right now. Jake Cronenworth at first, 1 away. Jose Iglesias, who for some reason was the DH tonight. I had to scratch my head on that one, and you only started one of the new guys. More on that in a minute, but Iglesias, the slow grounder to the third baseman, Nolan Gorman. Hey, throw goes wide. Contreras got there, but it hit his glove and rolled away. That's an error right there. And then Contreras, when Cronenworth went to third he tried to throw it to third. He spiked it into the ground, man. It went past the pitcher on a hop. It went past the third baseman on 2 hops, and Lord, I don't know what in the world a major league first baseman's making a throw like that for. That looked like something I would have done at Waterford High School in the late 80s, early 90s. But whoa, man. Yeah, not a good throw. But they're humans, right? Only human. Flesh and blood, they're made. So Contreras' throw skips away, and Cronenworth scores. Elias Diaz, who's been hot as of late. They don't start Felix Fermin, the new catcher. Diaz singles in Iglesias. 4 batters later, Jackson time. Action Jackson Merrill with a 2-out single up the middle against Matt Swanson. Not Swanson, Swanson. Robert Suarez, 31st save, league leader. Thought he might get moved before the deadline, but no. Thought Dylan Cease might get moved before the deadline, but no. You got a first baseman. You got an outfielder. You got a whole bunch of things, but Louis Arise still at first base. And, oh, man, Elias Diaz still catching tonight. They beat Matthew Liberatore tonight. He's 6-9, went 4 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 4 hits, all earned. Mason Miller in the 8th inning, man. Oh, baby. You know, it was normally Jason Adam time, but, hey, no such thing as too many great arms in the bullpen. And this dude throws 104. He's hit 104. He throws 102. He's hitting 102 tonight. So Miller, Yoel Pozo up after a couple of hits. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens? Bang. First and third. And Manny Machado starts the 5-4-3 double play. Had 2 of those tonight. Another one to end the game. The Cards have lost 5 out of 6. 3 of those against the Padres. But their pitching staff has been atrocious since the weekend or since the All-Star break. And then obviously they made a bunch of trades. They were sellers, not buyers at the deadline. 2 teams play tomorrow, Michael McGreevy and Randy Vasquez for the Pods. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how Schulte plugs all these new players in and into the rotation and into the lineup and position-wise. Does a Rise move to second? I don't know what's going to happen there. You're going to want to watch. Shout out Javier Reyes, Locked On Padres podcast on the same bat channels right here. YouTube, sorry, it's a Gen X thing. Same about time, same about channel. YouTube, Roku, and, of course, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what it is. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, your Padres postcast again, 4-1, the final. So when you're looking at that performance by Pivetta tonight, 7 strong innings, had the high heater rocking, had the curveball snapping, and just looked good tonight. Had 3 pitches he was throwing for strikes, getting ahead in counts, and just dominating. And he gave up the 1 homer to Contreras, but other than that, retired the first 12 hitters he faced. And then after that, just kept going. Only gave up the 1 hit. Struck out 5, walked 1. A beautiful performance. Looking like a Game 3 playoff start for Nick Pivetta. And more importantly, right, Pods have won 3 in a row. It's 3 in a row, 3 in a row. And this is huge right now. And again, they're 3-2 against the Cards now on the season. I think they've mailed in the rest of this year. They're 11 games back in the Central. They had a shot in the wild card, but the Reds, who are 3 games ahead of them, became buyers, not sellers. And you got the Brewers and the Cubs. What a job Pat Murphy, the former ASU Sun Devil manager, is doing with the Brew Crew and the Cubbies in the year that Ryan Sandberg, the legend, passes away. They got that on their side too. But the Pods just 3 games behind the Dodgers, 61 and 49. Remember, they were 55 and 49. Hey, that's that math right there from the University of Miami, Florida degree. Diamondbacks fading, became sellers. It was a wholesale yard sale in Phoenix where the Pods will go next weekend, and that's going to be fun. And the Rockies, of course, have won 29 games. Meanwhile, tonight, before we hit the break, Louis Arise 2 for 4. He's got a 14-game hitting streak to lead major leaguers with active hitting streaks right now. Manny Machado went 1 for 4, and that is important because he's got a 9-game hit streak. It's like the 4th longest in the league right now. Fernando was 0 for 3. Didn't want to leave him out, but he scored a run, hitting 267 at the top of the order. Action Jackson Merrill, 2 for 4, 2 ribbies. Bogarts, 1 for 4. Laureano, Cronenworth, Iglesias hitless, although Cronenworth and Iglesias scored runs. I don't know why on God's green earth you'd ever put Jose Iglesias with a 232 average at DH. And I am questioning Mike Schilt. Never mind. I am questioning that move, Schilty. And I don't know if anybody asked him about it after the game, but O'Hearn came in as a pinch hitter. DH went 0 for 1. He's a first baseman. Maybe you move Arise over and get rid of Cronenworth. I don't know, man. They like Cronenworth. I'm not a big fan, to be honest with you. 1 for 3 for Elias Diaz with a run scored. He's now hitting 204. Mashing up there, but he's been pretty hot lately. Pivetta, 7 innings, a hit, a run, 5 strikeouts, no walks, actually. So he retired the first 12 hitters he faced, gave up a homer to lead off the 5th, and then retired everybody the rest of the way, right? Mason Miller, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, no runs. Suarez, 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs. And a good job. They did a nice job. No Cardinal had 2 hits in the game. Their top 2 in their lineup were a combined 0 for 8. Their top 3 were a combined 0 for 11, which is awesome. Great job by Pivetta. Tremendous job in backing by the bullpen. No Morejon, no Estrada, no Matsui, no Peralta, and no Adam, because they'll all be available tomorrow. So what this does, having 3 guys who can close, Miller, Suarez, and Adam, that means you can mix and match, right? And Morejon, throw him in there. He's been great lately, too, the lefty, right? So think about this. One day you go Morejon, Suarez. The next day you go Adam, Miller. Whatever. You could do it however you want. You're not going to get 7 innings out of every starter. You could bring Miller in the 5th inning, Morejon in the 5th inning. Can you imagine? You tell your starter, just get me 4, like Vasquez tomorrow. Just get me through 4. We'll be all right, dude. We got this. All right. Speaking of which, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Got to get to the quick little break here and let you know about 5-Hour Energy. And in case you wondered, yeah, 5-Hour Energy. You know what I'm saying? We got to do it. We got to do it sometime. Still to come. The turning point still to come. The star of the game still to come. A look ahead to tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow. You're only a day away. It was it's Friday night. Come on. It's a hard knock life for the Cardinals right now, like it was for the Padres recently. We're going to talk a little bit about the new additions that make Padre fans feel hopeful for the playoffs and the stretch run. Dodgers struggling. National League wide open this year. Mets, Phillies, Cubs, Brewers, Dodgers. Any of them really scare you? I didn't think so. It's like Paulie and Rocky. I don't sweat you. No, you ain't sweating nothing from those teams, and especially with the additions that the Padres made and the control with the contracts that the club has. Oh, my God, Miller's in club control till 2029. This is awesome. And A.J. Preller killed it at the deadline. I don't know how you're feeling, but I feel amazing about it. And I still say they didn't get their big bat in the middle of the lineup. That might hurt them in the playoffs, but they got a couple of guys with 15, 16 homers, and you just spread it out through the lineup instead of having it condensed like some teams do. Top to bottom now, 1 through 7, they could be deadly. They could be deadly. You throw that with that bullpen, Michael King coming back. You replaced Kolick and Bergert, who you traded with Sears, and you really made that bullpen better. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease real quick, tell you about 5-Hour Energy, and come on back and wrap this thing up. Padres POSTCAST, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, 4-1 Pods, 6th win in a row, 3rd in a row over the St. Louis Cardinals. Game 2 tomorrow, and we are live right on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And you wonder if I know what it means to find my dreams. Yes, I do. But do you know what it's like to fuel up with 5-Hour Energy? Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot, whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends at Petco, the Gas Lamp, Coronado, wherever you are. This one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized, like me on the show. Sometimes, right? Otherwise, maybe, you got the weirdest course you've ever played. Any odd challenges out there that really throw you off your game? Torrey, Pebble. I mean, come on, California's loaded with them, right? Yeah, you need that to throw you back on your game. No doubt about it. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. Of course, the grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the Bev card. And if you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code. It can be yours. Locked On Golf to receive 20% off your first order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Few moments to go. We got a couple of comments. By the way, I am live after the games on YouTube. You want to see the handsome face? Look at the 3 ladies right here on the shirt. Leroy P. Eli, artist. My lady's father left those to us. Some beautiful gifts that he gave us. But I will tell you this. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. 4-1 the final. The Padres with the win. 6th win in a row. 3rd in a row over the Cardinals. I'm telling you, the backdoor split in St. Louis got this team going. You go to Washington, you win 2 out of 3. You're supposed to. You go to Florida and play Miami. They're red hot. They beat you 2 out of 3. They beat the Yankees today, but 2 out of 3. And like Meatloaf said, it ain't bad. Well, it is bad if you lose 2 out of 3, right? So think about it. They get the backdoor split. They lose the first 2 games in St. Louis. Manny had made bad throws to cost them games. All kinds of things going on, right? They galvanized, man, when Manny got thrown at, Fernando got thrown at. They won the last 2 of that, and they've won 6 in a row now. Ash says, hey, man, just a quick shout out. Keep up the good work. Says, I've gotten better and better. Thank you very much. Ash, Robin Robb says, awesome game tonight. Looking for a sweep. 2 more for that. Look at Pivetta up there. Pivetta power. The high heater doesn't normally work unless you throw such ched that they can't catch up. But the way he locates it, man, and the way it moves late, the way it explodes on the way in, man, Pivetta's just that high fastball combined with that curveball, high and tight, down and away, high and tight, down and away to the righties. And then you'll mix in that slider maybe, and get a little extra spin on that ball and have it drop off the table on you. And that's a little messed up and messy too. All right, couple things to do. Short time to do them in because we got to get to stepping. It's time for your turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yeah, the turning point's kind of an easy one tonight. You know what I'm saying? Very easy one tonight. It's the 4-run bottom of the 5th inning. I almost said 4-1. I was looking at the score. It was the 4-run 5th inning for the Padres tonight. And it was a thing of beauty because the only runs in this game were scored in the 5th inning. One on a Wilson Contreras homer to lead off the 5th after Pivetta had retired the first 12 hitters for the Pods. That one made it 1-0 Cardinals. Then in the bottom of the 4th inning, all hell broke loose. It's like with Hulk Hogan passing away last week. I'm thinking of good old JR. All hell is broken loose. Oh, no, they're coming to San Diego for a big one at Petco later in the summer, too. Yep, I think it might be Survivor Series even. I don't know, giving the WWE some advertising here without meaning to. But in the bottom of the 5th inning, man, Laureano grounds out to shortstop, the newcomer who started tonight. He started in left field, right? Cronenworth walks, and then he scores on a throwing error. And it wasn't a throwing error. It was on a throwing. Oh, okay. So Cronenworth scored on a throwing error by Contreras, and they gave the error to Gorman, which it hit his glove, man. I'm from the old school. It hit your glove. It's an error. Contreras should have had 2 errors on that play. Get that out of here with Gorman. But anyway, they gave one of them to Gorman, but Cronenworth scores. Iglesias is safe at second. And remember, there's a little dribbler down the third base side that Iglesias hit, and Cronenworth scores on that because they just decided, I don't want it, you take it. Hot potato, like the Wiggles, if you have kids, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to the Wiggles. Anyway, Diaz singles to left. Iglesias scores, just kind of lob wedged it out there like Mud So Great and gracefully said on the telecast. Fernando walks, beautiful walk. 10 pitches drawn by Fernando, and there you have it. Diaz goes to second. Arise singles to left, and Diaz goes to third. Base is loaded, 2-1. Manny. Why you bugging? Manny strikes out swinging, and Jackson Merrill with a 2-run single. Yeah, Diaz scores, Tatis Jr. scores, Arise to second. It's 4-1. Of course, Pivetta was incredible tonight, and he locked it down from there until Miller and Suarez closed it out. So there you have it, your turning point. And while we're at it,
this is the Locked On Player of the Game.
that would be Nick Pivetta, man. How are you going to pick anybody else tonight for this? Nick Pivetta, his best start of the season, leads to a season high in victories. 11-3 now after going 7 innings, allowing 1 run on 1 hit, a solo homer. Struck out 5, walked none. Brilliant performance. Liberatore gets the loss, but Pivetta is our star of the game. Suarez was fantastic in the 9th. An inning pitched, 1 hit, and got the 31st, league-leading 31st save. And then, of course, Jackson Merrill, 2 for 4, 2 RBI, gets the honorable mention, but Pivetta is the star of our game, which leads me to one more thing, and that is tomorrow. And you will see Randy Vasquez, who's been really good lately, man. Randy Vasquez has been dealing, solidified his spot over Kolek and Bergert, who they traded. How about that? Like Mel Allen would say, right? How about that? But when you think about what this team just did at the deadline, and by the way, Locked On Padres podcast with Javier Reyes is the place to be for all that day in and day out. But a brilliant job by the Padres tonight. They've won 6 in a row, and you got Randy Vasquez pitching tomorrow, which means you got another shot to really keep it going. And, of course, the Cardinals will counter with McGreevy, and I'm trying to see the time of that game here. I'm not really you're going to have to check back on that one. Sorry, guys. My computer froze a little bit on me there as I was trying to pull that up. But 61-49, 6-game win streak. Trying to wrap the show. Can't get that start time pulled up for some reason. Wait, there it goes. 7:10 tomorrow. First pitch. We're here right after the game with your postcast. I am Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. 4-1 the final. Padres with the win. 6 in a row. 3 in a row over the Cardinals. And they are knocking on the door. Not heaven's door, but heaven, if you consider heaven to be the playoffs. They're 3 games behind the Dodgers now in the West. And, of course, the wild card, they're firmly there. So you got all kinds of time for both of those. And that is just the way that it goes. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, man. The National League wide open. Padres staking their claim on deadline day. We will keep you posted as time goes by. The Padres 3.5 games ahead of the Reds, 1 down behind the Mets in the wild card race. The Cubs lead it by 3.5. Of course, the Brewers lead them by a game, and the Phillies lead the Mets in the East by the slimmest of margins. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. 4-1 Padres the final. San Diego with the win, 4-1 the final. And, of course, Pivetta was great. Merrill was great. 6 wins in a row. 7:05 first pitch tomorrow. We here right after the game with your Padres postcast. Until then, thank you so much for being here. Keep on watching and listening. The postcast, the podcast on YouTube, wherever you get your audio version, and, of course, on Roku. And then Locked On MLB Game Night. It's on Locked On MLB YouTube every night, every game. Local analysis on a national level. You don't want to miss it. I'll be back tomorrow night myself, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease at Jim Grease _ on social media. Until then, Padre fan, as always, keep your game tight and your mind right. Enjoy the win streak. We're out.